Ooh, Superman Returns, the video game for the Nintendo DS, published by EA, made by EA Tribron? I feel like I'm saying that wrong. In the year 2006, rated everybody, but nobody should play this. I took 3 hours to complete, and those 3 hours were the longest 3 hours of my life. The story here is apparently very different from the console versions, not that I would really know, because I can't get the PS2 version at least to run, and I just haven't bothered to see if it runs on Is it on GameCube? I don't know. I haven't been bothered to see if it runs. It's one of those games, you know, I don't want to spend time on, because Superman games do not have the best reputation, and this is another one that falls into those, oh god, it's another Superman game kind of thing. Superman Returns for the Nintendo DS. Yes, this monstrosity you're seeing on your screen is a turn-based, stop Metropolis from running out of numbers and dying type of game. Oh god. Well, I'll get into that in the gameplay section. I don't know how anybody plays this. Somebody has had to speedrun this, and I need to watch that. It dips into the Superman Returns movie every once in a while. Like, you have the iconic shuttle launch, where you have to go and rescue the plane that I failed so many times because the game doesn't really tell you what to do. And you gotta dodge debris, although there's so little time to dodge the debris, and it's like, I'm Superman, you can't make me invulnerable to this thing, which, that's another rant. We'll get back to what I was saying. Honestly, I don't know which storyline it follows here. It kind of follows some comics, because there's Bizarro and Mysterio, and not Mysterio, that's Spider-Man, Bizarro and Brainiac, but it's just, I don't know, it says it's a movie game, because you guys know, movie tie-in games, that's my kink in life, but it's not. It has almost nothing to do with the movie aside from some static screens, your cutscenes, quote-unquote. Oh god. The game gives you no indication who people are, telling you nothing about them, just, hey, go stop this enemy in this turn and hopefully you don't die. Or hopefully you do the mission, you don't fail the mission. Oh god, this game is a hot mess. So again, audio-wise, like a lot of these rush tie-in games, there's no voice acting, just some static screens with pictures. If you guys are looking on screen, the bottom screen is where the text and stuff pop up, and you have your map, and you have just your non-gameplay side, your active gameplay side, I should say, and then the top screen on your left. Did I say? The top screen is your top screen where gameplay is happening. So, if you're looking confused, that's why. But yeah, it's just a hot mess of music that is kind of superhero-like. It doesn't even have the Superman song on there, which off the top of my head I can't remember, so I'm not even going to try to hum it right now. They didn't even use the movie music, which I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing. And this audio I turned off after a while, like I do with a lot of these. You guys know, if it's annoying, I'm just going to turn it off. And there's no voice acting, what's the point in staying? The music is just as forgettable as the plot of this game. I did have this one weird graphics issue during a fight, but I'm going to chalk that up to the game just being weird. It was a fight against Brainiac where I think it's Brainiac. I'm not up to date on the Superman mythos, so I don't exactly know. And the game doesn't tell you really who's who or what importance they have, why they're attacking. The game just hates you in general, but I digress. Yeah, there was his head was just missing. And the buildings behind him were missing. And it's only that section of the game, so I'm like, I know it's not the game, because it was only that one section in that one fight. And it was the one fight where it wasn't actually QTE. That was the only change up. I was so confused going in, I was like, oh, I thought this was going to be QTE. But whatever. Although it may look like an N64 game with that low poly count, it is in fact a Nintendo DS game made in 2006. Why they went for this low poly style instead of like a pixel style? I know people are tired of pixel games nowadays, but I think the pixel style would have really done this game wonders and would probably have taken away distracted from the mediocre gameplay. Like a pixel style like Thor God of Thunder for the DS, or even like a Castlevania style, or I just finished Time Spinner style. Oh, I think pixel styles on certain consoles look if done well, look so good. I feel like this was either a C or D team, or just they didn't care and they just had to rush it out. And knowing EA and their sticky fingers, may Mass Effect Andromeda rest in peace, EA probably rushed these guys out. They probably got the deal from, who is it? Warner Brothers that did the Superman Returns movie? I can't remember. And probably told them to force it out as the movie came out. This is a turn-based game set in the Superman kind of, not really, but Superman Returns movie universe, but not, you know, kind of like it is, but it isn't. Whatever. As the game progresses, you use your turns to stop some of Superman's greatest enemies, but the problem is that you just don't have enough turns, or at least I felt like I didn't have enough turns. I had to put cheats on him. Yeah, don't get uppity with me about cheats. It's a single-player game. Go ahead, cheat your heart out. It's just you. If you cheat in multiplayer games, you're a scumbag. But I digress. The worst sections of this game, and the game doesn't tell you what's gonna happen. The game just does it. Is the Bizarro sections, where it turns the gameplay upside down and it swaps your controls. And let me tell you, as somebody with vivid motion sickness, this was not welcome. Oh my god, it made me feel horrible. Everything's already slow and clunky in the game normally, so this just slows it down even more, because now you gotta use your brain power to think, oh god, how does this button work? Or which button is that? Or which way am I going? Ugh. Overall, the game suffers from repetitive gameplay, and I know some of you are side-eyeing me right now and saying, well, you play Assassin's Creed. Well, yeah. But this is a different kind of repetitive. This is there's nothing unique. At least with Assassin's Creed, you get your missions, it's whatever, it's different. This one is just, ugh. There's no free roaming. Every level outside of boss fights, which, oh god, those boss fights are reduced to the same QTE sections. And when I say same, I mean the exact same. The button presses are the same, it's the same timing, it's the same cutscene. All that's different is the enemy, and the Bizarro fight, it's upside down. That's it. That's all for your beautiful boss fights. Yay. But the sections outside of that are just repeated over and over. I think there's maybe 4 sections they use about 10 different times, and there's time limits. Everything's on a time limit. And most of Superman's powers are level locked, so you only get to see them a handful of times, and you'll probably want to tear your eyes out and stop playing about 10 minutes in. You ever fire up a game and then you get into it and then you're like, oh no, this is the game? That's what it was like. But I knew I had to make a video on it because it was just so spicy. So the biggest challenge here is the timer. Of course, everything is timed, and not in a like one of those artificial timers where you're not actually in trouble and you know it's the boulder rolling down the hill and you gotta run from it. This is just everything's timed because they didn't know what else to do. If the controls were tight and responsive and you could actually fly decently, I think you could overlook a lot of things. But that's not the case here. It feels like there aren't enough turns in the game to finish before, you know, Metropolis ceases to exist because of all the bad guys. But maybe that's just me. Maybe I can't play strategy games. This I know. I can't play strategy games. I like strategy games. Can't play them. But I've never had as much trouble as I've had with this game. Blah. Blah. The boss fights, which should be the highlight, let me reiterate this. The boss fights, which should be the highlight of the game, where you fight some of Superman's greatest rivals, are nothing but QTEs. That's such a disappointment to Bizarro and what's the other guy? Brainiac, and then I can't remember the other ones because everything about this game is so forgettable. So what's my spicy hot take on this? As a handheld game, it's not the worst available. And if you like to collect games, then this wouldn't be a horrible addition, because I feel like either a lot of people didn't buy this, or didn't keep it, or something like that. I feel like this is just going to be rare just for the fact that, you know, it's not something a lot of people picked up. I would add it to the collection solely based on that. It's a passable Superman title, I guess. but that's not good in the list of looking at Superman games. They have unlockable Superman, I want to say Spider-Man all the time. Superman covers you can earn from gathering Krypton crystals, although they don't look like crystals at all. They look like house crests from Krypton, whatever. You can also choose different suits at the start, which is kind of cool, but like, if I want a cool suit, I'm gonna go play some Batman. I don't know about you, but those suits in Arkham Knight were pretty dang cool. While this is way better than Superman 64, I still think it's lacking in some of the basic things and features. The gameplay is just lacking as well. And it's not what you would expect for a 2006 game. The flying, ironically, feels impressive, or maybe it just seems impressive because everything else is mediocre, but the amount of flying you actually do as Superman is so short that you don't get to appreciate it. When you slow down that which the game forces you to do all the time, it becomes a clunky mess. It's like taking Sonic and saying run, or don't run, I mean. Which, y'all can think of that Sonic game where they took out the speedy part. So I finished this in 3 hours, good god. And that's having to restart, because I lost twice, and adding codes into the emulator. There's some other handheld titles that will give you way more enjoyment for longer. 3 hours, that's nothing. And there are, I'm guessing on this one, there are better Superman games out there than this. Maybe? I don't know. It lives up to the movie tie-in curse, though. It feels like a cash grab from EA, which we know them some greedy people. I was trying to keep it PG, and I did. Congrats me. And it shows with the disservice and shame of the story material here. I'm not the only one who feels like this was a waste of time and a waste of game, as it garnered half or lower than half scores from critics and players alike. Avoid this one like the plague unless you're collecting it.